Barak Shalom, everyone. It's Out the Box Kingdom. Talk with me, Out the Box Kingdom. I hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful yum. Today is a wonderful day. If y'all do not know by now, it is the day of Passover, which is a lot of us are reading Deuteronomy and getting the correct days versus what we've been taught or what we've been indoctrinated to believe, as in Passover is on a Sunday, which is Easter or Istar. But we know that actually Easter is dedicated to a pagan deity, Istar. And we know that the Easter egg bunnies and all that stuff represents paganistic beliefs of fertility and reproduction, all those things. However, we know that those that are being set apart or in the process of being set apart, just set apart right now, when you've actually read your word and you actually read, we know that this month is Abib, and on the 14th of Abib is Passover, and then 15th through the 21st is the unleavened bread feast, which means you're not supposed to really be working at all. It's supposed to be a time of rest, being in the face of Abba Yahuwah. But however, because a lot of us is just now coming in the truth, you got to do the best you can until Abba shifts you out your workplace or something else happens where you can work somewhere where they observe the feast days. So, and that's coming very soon, hopefully. So anyway, this is my first time actually vlogging, as in y'all seeing what I wore for a day. And actually, I guess you can call this a Passover vlog, because my family, they eat meat. So I did cook lamb. I was up till about, I think I got done with everything about 11 o'clock. I started pretty late. But I just did something simple. Abba gave me the menu. We do have parsley. Unfortunately, I cannot eat parsley. Parsley is a bitter herb, so I have to work with what I can work with. And this is why I said don't be too hard on yourself. However, he did place in my ruach to cook lamb for my family. So because depending on where you live at, the lamb chops are like super small or they're super expensive. So I went with something that was in my price range, which was lamb steak, aka shoulder. It's still lamb. It's still going to serve the purpose. And my mom cooked mustard greens with turnips, and I made garlic, green beans, and oven roasted potatoes, and of course the unleavened bread. And I made myself some vegan meatloaf because, like I said, I don't eat meat. So that is pretty much what's going to be on the menu today. But I felt excited because I don't have a red cloth, let's just say, to go over my door, but I do have a red ribbon hanging from a wreath hanger. And then I have my homemade door decor that says, "As of me and my house, we will serve Yahusha," or Yahuwah. And so, which we do serve Yahusha up here. We recognize him as the Passover lamb. And so I was going to cook the lamb today, but I was like, no, you need to cook it before midnight. So I was like, okay, I'm going to honor you. My husband, interesting enough, he went to the store because my dad can't drink orange juice. So when he came back, he had different varieties of fruit juices, which, I make my own cold pressed juice, but sometimes my husband, it hasn't clicked with him yet. Y'all pray for him. But he went to the store and he got apple juice, orange juice, and guess what? Grape juice. And I was like, all praise to the Most High Yahuwah, because grape juice can, be a substitute of wine if you're not a wine drinker, or if you're a person that you're recovering from alcoholism. Yeah, the safest thing for you to do is just get you some grape juice and drink that on this yum. But do not let the indoctrination of other cultures that has infiltrated unnecessary laws when the laws are straight and direct in the scripture. That's why you have to read for yourself. You can't go what everybody is doing, and you have to be ruach led. Like, some people, you gotta do the best you can. And so if you are plant-based, make you plant-based meal. All that matters is you are recognizing that Yahusha was a Passover lamb. He, died for our sins. And because of him being the firstborn of Abba Yahuwah, that we're showing honor for Abba giving his son for once that was blameless, so he can atone for all of our sins, that we can be reinstated back to him. Those that have turned, it don't matter what color you are. Let's get that straight. Because we know we have some of our people that say, oh, because we are the blood, we are entitled. You're not entitled to anything. Yahusha made that pretty clear. It's those that have repent and turned back to him and believe that he is Yahusha HaMashiach and that Yahuwah is our Father, and you begin to honor the commandments and the instructions of Abba Yahuwah. But we already know that the laws that was created cannot be done by the flesh itself. You gotta be born again with the ruach hakodesh. Hey, you gotta be blown onto and brought back to life, and then those things, as you feed yourself the word, will begin to come back to you. You might as well say naturally, and so you have a lot of people that come in truth and they just start dressing. But you can, like I said, you can look clean on the outside, but you filthy in the insides, which is what Yahusha told the Pharisees. You know what I'm saying? The way I dress today is because the Ruach HaKodesh is the one that dresses me. I didn't just started doing this right off the bat. I was still wearing makeup for a while until he really began to deal with me and show me where the origins of makeup come from. But we're not trying to turn this into a sermon. So I'm pretty new to, blogging in a sense. I'm not going to be doing this too much because I'm a very private person. I come on here, I try to, I give the word, but Abba Yahuwah wants me to give, and that's it. I'm pretty much to myself because unfortunately a lot of eyes and ears that you see, that watches you. You got to be very mindful of what you share a lot. So when I began to post later on my setup of the Passover Feast, how I was leading me to do it, I hope it inspires you that, and don't look, let's get straight here. Do not condemn yourself if you don't have all that you need or you're not able to do it because you are at work. If you have to work today and the next days to come, once again, do the best you can. Do breakfast if you want to and show honor to Abba Yahuwah. Let that be your feast. Or let your lunch be in dedication to him. Be an example out there in public, okay? And then when you get home, if you eat 3 meals a day, then you have your Passover feast then. You know what I'm saying? Do not let the enemy condemn you. Because we know Yahusha HaMashiach do not condemn. Abba knows your heart. He knows that you are wanting to honor. Now that you come in the truth, that you want to honor him in the best way you can. And he's still going to show his presence. He's definitely going to let you know that he's pleased with you, right? And so, I just had to get that off my chest there because you're going to have some people that's real hard on themselves right now. And don't do that. Do the best you can. If all you have is turkey, cheese, and bread, then you got to work with what you have. Just honor him, get you some grape juice, and that's your meal. The next couple of months or next year will be different. Now you're equipped, right? And so enough of that. So I wanted to come on here because, like I said, I don't really do vlogging. I'm a very private person, so y'all get things that Abba is allowing me to share. Not everything is permitted to share, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you're a very private person, I'm not saying that you're an introvert, but you just know how people are. Some people are ravenous wolves, Let's get real. They'll be looking what you got and they want to convey or speaking against you. So you even got to be wise with that. Allow the ruach hakodesh to lead you into that. But anyway, so today I'm just going to show y'all my wardrobe. What I have on today is pretty simple. My red head wrap, because I was like, what colors you want me to wear, Abba? And he's like, red head wrap. He actually had given me an idea of my outfit yesterday. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wear that. So I have my Yahuwah earrings. I actually, let me see if y'all can see it. It says Yah. This goes with my actual bride set that, and I made these myself. These are my favorite. So I was like, keep something simple, but I wanted to wear these representing the bride, you know. And then shout out to Set Apart, I think Jewelry or Collection. Her business is actually on Instagram, so you can look her up. She does a lot of women jewelry and men jewelry. So support the Kingdom of Yahuwah's businesses that are rising, because once you support someone else's business, then you'll get the support you need for yours. Then I have my, I guess you can say, if you can see it, my Yahuwah pendant, and in the back of it, engraven. And I got this, actually, believe it or not, off of Amazon. It was worth the $25. So this was $25 and this was $25, two separate companies, but it was worth it. So technically when I wear jewelry now, unless I'm wearing my own, I keep it pretty simple. So now I'm going to show you my outfit. I'm going to try to step back so y'all can kind of see and walk back towards the camera. So today it's pretty cool outside. The weather is weird, y'all. It's hot 1 minute and then it's warm. And I'm in the great state of NC. I love my state. But the weather's been a little crazy lately, a little bit off. So I've been kind of concerned about my garden plants, but Abba will take care of them. So this is the vest. I have on, of course, a white turtleneck, something simple. My vest, and in the back of it is black. I did not want to do too much black or too much red, so I had to balance it out with a white turtleneck. And then, of course, a high-waisted skirt. And I'm going to step back so you can see it. And it has a little split on the side, but yeah. But this is how it looks all together. Nothing too off the top. And I'm gonna come back, and it's comfortable. Do I dress like this all the time? I have actual red pants, but I was like, no, I'm gonna do my skirt today. And then as far as my shoes, I'm keeping it simple, y'all. I got these little slippers here. Because I didn't want to wear, I'm gonna be in the house, so it still goes with the outfit. So and it's red and white. There you go. So that's pretty much my outfit. But so right now, because it's still morning, or should I say the boker, the early hours of the yum, I'm getting ready to go downstairs and make me some Pardarco, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, tea, which is, and I feel like this is getting into a lesson, but anyway, it's great for candida. It kills candida. It's antimicrobial, bacteria, antifungi, and I have oregano in there, which if you didn't know, Pardarco and actually oregano is really good for mucus, breaking up mucus. I know there's a couple of times, if you're like me, depending on what you ate the night before, or just your head is still clogged up with mucus because your gut, you wake up with mucus in your eyes. That's the mucus trying to find an exit out. So yeah, I have thyme in it. And I think that's pretty much it. And I think I have rosemary. But I sweeten it with either maple syrup or with pure raw honey. And then again, if you don't have that, but you have agave, just use a little bit of agave. Don't overdo it, or just drink it straight. So that's what I have. And I'm probably, because I still got blueberries, I'm going to make me a blueberry smoothie. So I'm going to take y'all downstairs with me. Excuse the lighting, because it's not going to be as light as it is in here. But I'm going to try to do the best I can so y'all can see what my, so you kind of have an idea of what my tea looks like, or what it looks like when you brew it. And my blueberry smoothie, so y'all can kind of see what ingredients. And I drink that, start my day off drinking that. I do have some coconut water as well. And I do drink water with lemon, because let's get real here. Sometimes when you're thinking you're super hungry, your lips will tell you, or your body will tell you, that you're just dehydrated. You need to drink things that's going to hydrate you. And I usually, if I don't drink water, I'll drink me a 32 ounce jar at least twice a day of watermelon juice. I have fallen in love. I don't know if you have. I've fallen in love with watermelon juice. And just recently, me and my husband has started making homemade cranberry juice. So if you want to learn how to make homemade cranberry juice, it's pretty simple. But if you want to learn how to do that, or just see how I made my tea, the Barak tea, if you're dealing with candida overgrowth, then comment in the comment box below. I usually don't tell people to comment, but just comment. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna move downstairs. And I actually gotta go through my garage, because I'm so excited about the setup of how he wants me to set up the dinner. Oh, so excited. Yeah, so I'm gonna come back very soon so y'all can see my tea, my smoothie, and yeah, just how I start my day. All right. Okay, so like I said, I'm trying to be a little quiet because my husband is still sleeping, because it's still the early hours of the so I'm trying to really take my time go down these steps and make sure I'm not talking as loud. But hey, so all right. Okay, so I guess you can say my favorite place in the house, which not every women love this, but I do, is the kitchen. And so like I said, I was trying to look for back when I did celebrate birthdays, which, interesting enough, my 33rd birthday, I didn't have a cake. Abba told me to throw a feast for my birthday and invite my friends with to come to it. So I guess you could say kind of like they like to call it a potluck, but I don't like how that sounds, because that sounds like some new age crap. So it was like a bride feast. And so I had bought the the decorations and everything. He gave me the colors. I was going to do rainbow at first, representing the promise, but he told me to do rose gold. So it ended up being a royal theme. I didn't tell people to dress a certain way, but he told me to get 12 plastic crowns representing the 12 tribes, or even those that, will be part of the promise, inheriting the promise, because they believed, like they said, they engrafted. And so, so I ended up getting it, and it turned out very nice. There were 12 women that showed up, which was the 12. And Abba, I ended up making my own outfit, and Abba ended up giving me the word. And it ended up my birthday feast, my birthday feast, you might as well say, was a representation of the wedding banquet, because that was the word I ended up giving. You're going to have some people that they want you to be there to support their things, but they can't even show up. And I was telling the people that showed up that this is going to be like the people in the last days. You're going to have some that's going to say they're so busy doing their own thing. And let's just say the wise version and the foolish. And then they're going to be like, let me come in and all this other stuff, but they're not going to be able to come in. And so I just gave the message and I said, be aware that you don't catch yourself so busy that you miss out on the presence of the groom, the bridegroom, right? You want to always make sure that you are present and that you're alert at all times. And unfortunately, you have some people that are still wanting to be in a place of comfortability versus coming out amongst them. And unfortunately, they're going to see the results of that following these so-called leaders. But however, I'm not going to say that's none of my business, because those that are followers of Yahusha, we have a duty to do as well, which is go out and teach the Bushor and make Talmudim. I think I'm saying that right. Talmudim. Thank you. So, sorry for the noise. So, I could do both of them. They could represent both. Okay. So, at my party, I had, but I think I'm going to do both these because, yeah. But anyway, so at my party, and I can't even break this off because if I could, it would come off of it. So at my party, I had this, but as you can see, it has the cross on there. And we know that Yahusha was impaled on a stake. Some of us that's really deep in truth, you know what this actually stands for. But I thought it was beautiful. And I had this as the centerpiece because I was still learning too. I had this as a centerpiece and I had my scepter. Hey. So instead of using this, I let this collect dust somewhere or something. But anyway, I'm still going to have the scepter because he is the king, the scepter, and it's something that is red. And I'm going to have that sitting where all the food is going to be. And representing the king, I'm going to have this. And representing the bride, because that's who we are, this crown is going to be. So it actually worked itself out. I got my husband one for his birthday. We didn't do no cake neither, or candles or anything, because he has always been about not wanting to celebrate his birthday anyway. But I got both of these, and these are going to be the centerpieces. And I'm going to have the food around it. And yeah, and then we're going to sit at a small round table over there. And we're going to feast. We're going to talk. We're going to feast. We're going to laugh. I'm going to pray us in and say why we're having this dinner. To kind of remind my mom, my husband. My husband was raised Catholic. And so just kind of giving an idea on why it's so important. And of course, yeah, people are not where I'm at. So I have to understand, but there's nothing wrong of leading by example, because that's what we're called to do. So these are going to be my centerpieces. So I'm going to have my women's crown sitting on top of a box, right? And then I'm going to have the king's sitting on the bigger box because it's big. And that is going to represent his reigning bull, right? So Passover should be very, very exciting. It should never feel overwhelming whatsoever. If you catch yourself feeling overwhelmed and trying to do things perfect, then you're making it about yourself. And for you're taking it off of Abba Yahuwah. Simple as that. And you do not want to do that at all, because it's about him, not you. So I'm gonna let y'all see what it looks like on the other side. I'm going to try to record so y'all can see what food I did make and how I set up everything. And then after that, as far as me and my family feasting and stuff, that's our business. But yeah, it's just a quick vlog. So let me turn this around a little bit so y'all can see. So as you can see here, how I have it set up, I have the scepter right there, the king's crown and the queen's crown, representing the king and his bride, and the scepter, and that's where the food is going to be. So so now I was out here, thought I was gonna get to record. I get little cardinal birds that come, little cardinals and sparrows, because I put some bird seeds out there, and I've been having these beautiful birds coming up on my porch, and I enjoy watching them, because it just a reminder that Abba is the one that provides for us. And that's why I said, you guys that is really trying your hardest to do Passover the correct way, you got to work with what you work with, and don't get frustrated, but rejoice and be glad that you recognize the truth and you're aiming to walk in the truth, as you're coming into more revelation. Did I know about Passover last year? Where were we? We still living with my mom, but I'm trying to think. I'm not gonna say I can't remember that far, but it's really hard. But I think that was around the point where I wasn't saying, like, my family members were saying Happy Easter, but I was more like Passover. But far as like, I'm trying to think, did I go to the building? I don't even think I went to the building, because that was around the time that Abba was getting us prepared to move. So when Abba says move, you better move. Okay, so I'm getting my tea. Like I told you, I drink my Par Ardarco tea, and I was going to make me a smoothie because it's 10 o'clock and we're not eating until about 4. So sometimes you got to have something that is nourishing and filling, right? Other than liquids, right? I really don't eat anything until about 12 o'clock, but if I get super hungry, you can always do a smoothie and then a juice, to kind of make sure you're hydrated. But this is my tea right here. Like I said, it has oregano, it has Pardarco bark, which is good for candida overgrowth and other things that could be going on in your gut. Because I know for a while I was dealing with like really bad brain fog. Like I'll be sitting there in a pause, like, and trying to think. But that's what candida does when you have a lot of yeast in your gut. It would affect you like that, right? I know people are against microwaves, and I'm not about to make a whole bunch of dishes because I need to boil me some tea. No, I'm just going to use that contraction right now for now and make my tea. And like I said, this day is a day of simple. Yesterday I worked, okay? So today I ain't putting too much effort in anything, just serve my family, eat, drink, be merry, and mind my own business. Okay, I think I'm gonna make that a t-shirt. Eat, drink, be merry, and mind my own business. Don't steal it. It's copyrighted, so don't steal that. Okay. But anyway, I'm gonna make that, and then the honey I have is the raw honey. But I usually like to get local raw honey to support local businesses. But if you did not know that, you should always buy local honey from your area, right? Because when springtime comes, we know that that's when pollen is out, right? So I did a experiment on myself. I got local honey and I ate it or put it in my tea every day for a whole year. When springtime came the following year and everybody was dealing with allergies and stuff like that, I could go outside and the pollen didn't even bother me. However, for those that it don't matter what you do, if you've been doing honey and all that, there is stinging nettle tea that you can drink. Make sure you don't have any allergies towards it, please. But stinging nettle is really good for allergy quercetin, which you can get from pineapple juice, apple juice that helps with. It's actually great if you're dealing with sinusitis. It's actually a natural allergy medicine, but it's natural. And then you have trying to think if anything else you can take. You can actually buy quercetin tablets from the herbal store. So yeah, people don't really like this time of year. I love it because I get to watch the birdies and the trees bloom and how they mature over the month of April. And you really need to pay attention to I ain't talking about nature, like glorifying nature like these new age people do. I'm saying because Abba made the arets. You should really pay attention to things, how the animals respond. And it's interesting because when I put the bird seeds out there, how they got accustomed of me having the bird seeds in a certain place. And my husband said, babe, you can't keep switching it up. He said, because they're going to start freaking out. And sure enough, one day I literally switched like the position of these seeds and I can tell like they were off. And let's see what else. Oh, and I didn't have no water out there, and I noticed they just kept coming because I had my tote outside with my garden and stuff had like water sitting on it, and I had flipped that over so mosquitoes wouldn't start mating on that or whatever. And so when I dumped the water and then I took the water out the bowl I had, I was like, oh my gosh, they're looking for water. And I provided them with water, right? So once again, it's going back to that whole thing that Abba is our provider. He provides what we need, not what we want. However, he does give us the desires of our heart. But I believe those desires of the heart is when it comes in alignment to his will, right? I was not trying to make this a sermon. This is supposed to be a quick vlog. But anyway, so actually what I may do is just put how I'm going to have the food out later so you can have an idea. Because like I said, we can be ready. You know how melanated folks are. We like to eat thin. We ain't trying to do no show and tell around that time. So I'm going to quickly, while my stuff is in the microwave and heating up, I'm going to show y'all how I'm going to have it set up later with my food and stuff. And that's it. Then y'all have the scoop of everything. And then I'm going to end this video because it's already too long already. Yes. So hold that thought. All right. So this is how my setup is going to be when we have dinner. I'm going to let y'all kind of see what we have. Mind you, I'm not about to heat up no food for y'all to see that it's heated up. It's going to get heated up later. But this is just an idea of what Abba has given me as far as what we're going to eat this Passover. So let me let y'all see. So, hold up. So right here, we have skillet potatoes that I made yesterday. I try to do it as oven roasted, but it was taking a long time. So I end up taking my husband's pan and cooking it on the stove, but they taste really good. Of course, I made the flatbread. I made them mini because my husband loves to eat my flatbread cakes. Or should I say unleavened bread? But I thought I had made too much, but I forgot. This is the Feast of Unleavened Bread that starts tomorrow. So I guess you can say I made enough. Then we have like our garlic green beans there. Once again, it probably looks kind of dull. They have to be heated up later. Of course, my husband went to Food Lion. Don't knock it. I could have made homemade, but yeah. But I'm just excited that he got this grape juice because I was like, yay, look, it's in the wine. You know, look at you, y'all. Of course, the centerpiece. And then we come over here. And this may look like meatloaf, y'all, but this is actually my vegan, or should I say, I ain't gonna say vegan, plant-based meatloaf that I made for myself. With lentils. I got fava bean or no-so tofu in there. I got like a bots, I think, yeah, a bots ground beef in there, mushrooms, onions, garlic. I have to do the recipe, but anyway, so that's my vegan meatloaf that I made for myself, and I tried it yesterday, so that's why I was a bit missing. Oh, it does have quinoa in it too as a base, and breadcrumbs. All right, next we have the lamb. That's their lamb with sauteed onions. I know it looks kind of gross right now because it's not heated up, but last night when I was making it, I noticed that the more I'm eating plant-based and I guess drinking the Pardarco tea, cooking flesh does not smell good to me, but it smelled good to them. Then my mom, she made some mustard greens with turnips. I love mustard greens with turnips. If I had to pick what greens I could eat every day, it's the mustard green, y'all. I don't know what it is about the mustard green, but yes, if you're from the South, you know. So I'm gonna go back over here so y'all can kind of see everything. Right? Hold up. Let me spread this back out. And this is how I'm going to set it up later. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I was going to show the smoothie, but I really want to just sit down and chill. But thank you all for tuning in with me, Out the Box Kingdom in Fab's Kingdom Kitchen on Passover Day. I'm so excited, and so may you and your family, or just yourself right now, until Abba brings you your spouse, that you enjoy your Passover as in the day as you commune with him, because it's all about him. It's not about us. You know what I'm saying? But however, when it comes to 2026, when it's time for Passover, you'll be ready. You'll be prepared. And by then, hopefully, Abba, we already know Abba's going to provide. You may have your own garden where your grocery store is your backyard, and you can do Passover the way he instructed you to do. You have your bitter herbs. You just clipping it out of your yard. Or it may just be where you and your family, those that you thought that was going to be lost, began to understand the concept, and everybody contributes food to the feast of the bride and the bridegroom. And so on that note, thanks again for tuning in with Out the Box Kingdom. Talk with me, Out the Box Kingdom. Barak Shalom.